Is it actually possible to shrink an enlarged prostate naturally? The science says yes. We are going to break down the exact nutrient protocol that reduces prostate volume and restores your flow. This isn't about herbal tea, it's about biochemistry. We'll cover Part 1, Understanding Apoptosis, how to make prostate cells naturally die off. Part 2, the vitamin that triggers this process. Part 3 to 3 foods rich in this vitamin to add to your grocery list today. Let's start the transformation. If you are over 60, you know the frustration. Your prostate, which should be about the size of a walnut, has swollen up to the size of a grapefruit. This swelling causes the urgent need to go and the weak stream when you finally get there. This condition, benign prostatic hyperplasia or BPH, is not an unavoidable part of aging. It is a failure of internal cellular housekeeping. Most doctors look at the growth and only offer treatments that address the symptom, the size. They rarely talk about the reason for the growth. Why does this tissue suddenly decide to multiply out of control? To shrink your prostate, you must target the core biological engine driving this overgrowth. You need to reverse the growth process itself. The key to reversal is a concept called apoptosis. Think of apoptosis as programmed cell death. It sounds intense, but it is actually one of the most vital functions your body performs every single day. Every cell in your body has a lifespan. When a cell gets old, damaged, or is simply no longer needed, the body sends a signal to that cell, telling it to self-destruct cleanly and quietly. This is essential cleanup. In a young, healthy prostate, cell growth and cell death stay perfectly balanced. This balance keeps the prostate the size of that healthy walnut. But when BPH begins, that balance is lost. The signal for cell death, that apoptosis switch, fails to flip on. New prostate cells multiply rapidly, but the old cells refuse to clear out. This accumulation is the enlargement. This is the grapefruit. If you stop the growth but don't clear out the clutter, the gland stays enlarged. The goal is not just to slow cell division, though that helps. The goal is to restart the self-destruct sequence for the accumulated, unnecessary cells. We need to find the missing key that flips the apoptosis switch back on in the prostate gland. This is where the powerful vitamin comes in. It acts directly on the genetic machinery of the prostate cells, signaling them to resume this crucial self-cleanup process. This is the truth no one tells you about prostate reduction. They focus on herbal remedies that manage inflammation. We focus on the biochemistry that actually shrinks the physical volume. If you want more science-backed, actionable strategies to boost your vitality and master your nutrition, hit the subscribe button now. We cut through the noise every week. So, what is the single most important nutrient that controls the life and death cycle of your prostate cells? This vitamin is often categorized as a vitamin, but it behaves more like a powerful steroid hormone in the body. It is critical for over 1,000 cellular functions, yet 75% of men over 60 are dangerously deficient. If your levels are low, your body simply cannot execute the apoptosis cleanup crew. It creates the perfect environment for that slow, uncomfortable prostate swelling. We're talking about the single most studied nutrient in health today. We need to dive deeper into this specific nutrient and its precise role as a hormonal regulator. Understanding why you are likely deficient is the first step toward correcting the problem and finally shrinking that gland. The powerful nutrient we are discussing is vitamin D, specifically the active form, vitamin D3. While D3 is famous for bone health, its job as a hormone is what matters most for the prostate. Every single cell in your prostate has a dedicated vitamin D receptor, or VDR. Think of the VDR as a parking spot for vitamin D. When vitamin D parks in that spot, it doesn't just sit there. It travels right into the cell's nucleus and flips genetic switches. In the prostate, one of the most important switches it flips is the apoptosis switch we just discussed. High-level vitamin D signaling tells unnecessary prostate cells, your time is up, clean up. Low D signaling means the cells receive no death order. They simply continue to multiply and accumulate. This accumulation is BPH. This is why vitamin D is a foundational nutrient for natural prostate volume reduction. But here is the critical problem. Why are so many men over 60 deficient? Most people think of sun exposure. Sunlight creates vitamin D in your skin. However, as we age, our skin's ability to synthesize D3 from sunlight plummets. By age 70, you produce 4 times less vitamin D from the sun than you did at age 20. Furthermore, geographical location matters greatly. If you live north of Atlanta in the U.S., or the 35th parallel globally, you cannot make enough D3 from the sun between November and March. So relying solely on sunshine is a risky strategy for managing your prostate health. We must ensure robust, consistent levels, especially since D3 is fat-soluble and requires daily intake for optimal cell saturation. The goal isn't just to be not deficient. The goal is to reach an optimal level for hormonal action. What level is optimal? Standard labs define a level above 30 nanograms per milliliter as adequate. But for anti-cancer action and robust prostate cleanup, research repeatedly shows the optimal range is higher, between 50 and 80 nanograms per milliliter. If you have not had your 25-hydroxy vitamin D levels checked recently, it is the single most important blood test you can ask for next week. You cannot solve a problem you cannot measure. Now we need to address the second part of the strategy, the crucial partner nutrient. You never take vitamin D3 alone. This is the truth about supplementation safety that is often overlooked. Taking high doses of D3 helps your body absorb calcium. That is good for your bones. But where does that calcium go? If it doesn't get shuttled efficiently, it can end up in your arteries or soft tissues, leading to calcification. This is unsafe long term. The essential partner nutrient is vitamin K2, specifically the MK7 form. Think of K2 as the traffic cop for calcium. K2 ensures the calcium absorbed by D3 is delivered straight to the bones and teeth, safely away from your arteries and prostate tissue. When you look for a D3 supplement, look for one that includes K2, MK7, for maximum safety and efficacy. This combination maximizes the bone benefits while letting D3 do its vital work, regulating prostate cells and triggering apoptosis. We now understand the times why. D3 flips the genetic cleanup switch. Next, we need to focus on the times how. How do we integrate this knowledge into diet and routine, specifically targeting the foods that naturally contain this nutrient and maximize its absorption? We are going to reveal 3 powerhouse foods you can add to your plate today to kickstart prostate volume reduction. Let's talk food. While supplementation is often necessary to reach therapeutic levels of vitamin D, your diet is your daily foundation. You can significantly boost your levels and overall prostate defense by prioritizing specific, nutrient-dense foods. These foods don't just provide D3. They come packaged with the healthy fats necessary for D3 absorption, since vitamin D is fat-soluble. The first powerhouse food is fatty fish. Salmon, specifically wild-caught salmon, is arguably the best food source. A 3.5-ounce serving can provide a significant amount of vitamin D, along with critical omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3s are powerful anti-inflammatories. Inflammation is a major factor in prostate enlargement, making the combination in salmon a double-action defense system. If salmon is too expensive, or you dislike the taste, sardines are a phenomenal alternative. They are tiny, affordable, and you eat the whole bone, giving you extra calcium and D3. The second secret weapon is NOC mushrooms. Most plants don't produce vitamin D, but mushrooms are the exception. Like humans, mushrooms can synthesize vitamin D when exposed to UV light. Look for mushrooms labeled as UV exposed or enhanced with vitamin D. They contain vitamin D2, which your body converts to D3, or sometimes D3 itself. Adding a serving of UV-treated crimini or portobello mushrooms to your stir-fry or eggs is an easy way to boost your intake naturally. The third food essential for vitamin D is the humble egg yolk. While whole eggs have been unfairly demonized in the past, they are nutritional powerhouses. The vitamin D is concentrated almost entirely in the yolk. Look for eggs from pasture-raised hens, as they tend to have much higher vitamin D content due to increased exposure to sunlight. Eating 2 or 3 whole eggs for breakfast gives you a solid base of D3 and necessary healthy fats to ensure absorption. But absorption is key. Think about the timing and pairing of these foods. If you eat an egg white omelet and take your D3 supplement with black coffee, you are missing the necessary fat vehicle. Always consume your fatty fish, egg yolks, or your D3/K2 supplement with a source of healthy fat. This could be half an avocado, a splash of olive oil on your salad, or even a small handful of walnuts. This simple pairing maximizes the amount of D3 that actually reaches those vital prostate receptors. Now that we have the nutrients covered, let's look at the enemies of your prostate. There are 2 common dietary habits that actively sabotage your vitamin D efforts and accelerate BPH growth. Eliminating these habits is just as important as increasing your D3 intake if you want to see that prostate volume truly reduce. These enemies create systemic inflammation, which is the perfect fertile ground for prostate cells to multiply unchecked. We need to clear the field so the vitamin D can do its job. The 2 biggest dietary enemies to your prostate health, and specifically to your vitamin D effectiveness, are excess refined sugar and inflammatory seed oils. Let's tackle sugar first. When you consume excessive sugar, your body quickly releases insulin, Over time, this leads to insulin resistance. Research clearly shows a strong link between insulin resistance and BPH progression. High insulin levels directly stimulate the growth of prostate cells. Think of it this way. Vitamin D is trying to tell the cells to stop growing and clean up, but high insulin is screaming at them to grow faster. You are working against yourself. By stabilizing your blood sugar and reducing your carbohydrate load, you dramatically lower the growth signal and allow vitamin D's regulatory powers to take over. Focus on whole foods, protein, and healthy fats at every meal to keep insulin steady. The second saboteur is common in almost every packaged food: inflammatory seed oils. We are talking about soybean oil, corn oil, cottonseed oil, and vegetable oil. These oils are high in unstable omega-6 fats. When consumed in excess, which is easy to do in the modern diet, they create massive systemic inflammation throughout your body, including your prostate. This is chronic, low-grade swelling that aggravates BPH symptoms like urinary urgency and frequency. To truly shrink the gland, we must quiet this inflammation. Replace those seed oils with healthy, stable fats like extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, and coconut oil. This small change reduces the inflammatory load, making your prostate environment far more receptive to the healing and regulatory signals sent by vitamin D. Now, let's tie this all together into a simple, actionable protocol. This isn't just about taking a pill. It's about a 90-day reset to get your levels where they need to be and maintain them. We call this the Shrink Challenge. Step 1 is the measurement. You must get that 25-hydroxy vitamin D blood test. This gives you your baseline. If your result is below 50 nanograms per milliliter, supplementation is crucial. Step 2 is the supplement protocol. Because every man is different, always consult your physician for personalized dosing. However, to achieve therapeutic levels rapidly, many protocols involve a higher initial dose, followed by a maintenance dose. Remember the rule: D3 must be paired with K2, MK7, for safety. A common maintenance goal is to take a specific high-quality supplement daily, always consumed with the fattiest meal of the day. Step 3 is the lifestyle audit. Eliminate the sugar and the seed oils we just discussed. Increase your intake of fatty fish, UV-exposed mushrooms, and pasture-raised eggs. This nutritional foundation ensures that every bit of vitamin D you ingest or supplement is put to immediate, effective use in your prostate. You should begin to feel the benefits within 90 days. Most men report less urgent need to urinate, a stronger stream, and critically, a reduction in those dreaded nighttime bathroom trips. Consistent adherence to this strategy uses vitamin D's hormonal power to gradually reduce the size of the gland, taking you from a functional grapefruit size back towards that healthy walnut volume. This transformation is achievable, but it requires commitment to the science. But what about other common supplements? Why are men so focused on zinc and saw palmetto when vitamin D is the foundational hormone? And how long does this take, really? We need to address these common questions next. Many men dealing with BPH immediately turn to saw palmetto or high doses of zinc. These supplements are not bad, but they focus on a different part of the problem and often miss the foundational piece, the vitamin D hormonal signal. Saw palmetto primarily works by attempting to block the conversion of testosterone into DHT, a hormone that stimulates prostate cell growth. For some men, this provides marginal relief. However, blocking DHT is management, not true reversal. Saw palmetto does not effectively flip the apoptosis cleanup switch. It might slow the multiplication, but it doesn't clear the existing mass. That is why results are often inconsistent. Zinc is essential, absolutely. The prostate requires more zinc than any other soft tissue in the body. Zinc helps keep inflammation down and supports immune function. Low zinc levels are certainly linked to prostate trouble. However, zinc works best as a cofactor. It supports the environment. It doesn't drive the shrinkage mechanism like the hormone vitamin D does. Combining optimal zinc with optimal vitamin D creates a powerful synergy, where the zinc keeps the environment healthy and the D3 executes the cellular cleanup. Never rely on zinc alone to shrink the gland. The timeline for genuine volume reduction is another frequent question. We are talking about shrinking physical tissue that has accumulated over decades. This is not an overnight fix. While you may feel the secondary benefits of reduced inflammation and better flow within 30 to 60 days, measurable physical shrinkage takes longer. Be patient. Commit to the 90-day challenge and then follow up with another vitamin D test. If you are consistently hitting that optimal range of 50 to 80 nanograms per milliliter, the apoptosis process is running, and the gland is slowly reducing in size. Another practical challenge for men over 60 is mobility and absorption. Many seniors take several medications that can interfere with nutrient absorption, including D3. If you are on cholesterol medication or certain antacids, talk to your physician about timing your D3/K2 supplement. Furthermore, poor gut health reduces absorption. Ensure you are getting enough fiber and consider a probiotic to support the gut lining. A healthy gut is required to pull the D3 and its partner fats effectively from your digestive tract and into the bloodstream, where it can reach the prostate receptors. Everything is connected. Remember, BPH is not a single problem. It's a symptom of deeper hormonal and cellular imbalance fueled by deficiency and chronic inflammation. By correcting the most powerful deficiency, vitamin D, and simultaneously removing the inflammatory drivers, sugar and seed oils, you give your body the tools to perform its own cleanup, reversing years of accumulated growth. This is the difference between managing the symptom and mastering your health. If you are ready to take control of your vitality and commit to the science, make the move today. Don't let prostate issues dictate your sleep, your energy, or your quality of life. The science is clear. By treating vitamin D like the powerful prostate hormone it is, you unlock your body's potential for self-reversal. Start the process today by prioritizing your D3/K2 combination, eliminating inflammatory foods, and measuring your results. This foundational shift towards mastering your nutrition is how men in the Gentleman's Vitality community live stronger, healthier, and more vibrant lives. Subscribe now so you don't miss our next deep dive into male health optimization. Take the first step toward that walnut-sized prostate now.